Hello there, Mary Farias here with 5 Minutes is Better Than Nothing of Personal Development. We are studying my book, How to Study Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We are in chapter 8 on decision. This is page 204, Freedom or Death on a Decision. The value of decisions depends upon the courage required to render them. The great decisions, which served as the foundation of civilization, were reached by assuming great risks, which often meant the possibility of death. Lincoln's decision to issue his famous Proclamation of Emancipation, which gave freedom to the colored people of America, was rendered with full understanding that his act would turn thousands of friends and political supporters against him. He knew, too, that the carrying out of that proclamation would mean death to thousands of men on the battlefield. In the end, it cost Lincoln his life. That required courage. Socrates' decision to drink the cup of poison rather than compromise in his personal belief was a decision of courage. It turned time ahead 1,000 years and gave to people then unborn the right to freedom of thought and of speech. The decision of General Robert E. Lee, when he came to the parting of the way with the Union and took up the cause of the South, was a decision of courage, for he well knew that it might cost him his own life, and it would surely cost the lives of others. But the greatest decision of all time, as far as any American citizen is concerned, was reached in Philadelphia, July 4th, 1776, when 56 men signed their names to a document which they well knew would bring freedom to all Americans, or leave every one of the 56 hanging from the gallows. You have heard of this famous document, but you may not have drawn from it the great lesson in personal achievement it so plainly taught. We all remember the date of this momentous decision, but few of us realize what courage that decision required. We remember our history as it was taught. We remember dates and the names of the men who fought. We remember Valley Forge and Yorktown. We remember George Washington and Lord Cornwallis. But we know little of the real forces back of these names, dates, and places. We know still less that intangible power which ensured us freedom long before Washington's armies reached Yorktown. We read the history of the Revolution and falsely imagine that George Washington was the father of our country, that it was he who won our freedom, while the truth is, Washington was only an accessory after the fact. Because victory for his armies had been ensured long before Lord Cornwallis surrendered. This is not intended to rob Washington of any of the glory he so richly merited. Its purpose, rather, is to give greater attention to the astounding power that was the real cause of victory. It is nothing short of tragedy that the writers of history have missed entirely even the slightest reference to this irresistible power, which gave birth and freedom to the nation destined to set new standards of independence for all the peoples of the earth. I say it is a tragedy because it is the self-same power which must be used by every individual who surmounts the difficulties of life and forces life to pay the price asked. So, what power is he talking about? He's talking about the universal laws of the universe, the power of the thought that is flowing to and through us, this thinking stuff, or ether as he calls it, that's all around us, that internal drive that gives us desire, that pushes us forward, that gives us fundamental freedom if we were to just embrace it and let it go. This is the power that we are all born with. It is inherently ours, and we have to learn how to work with it. That's it. He is telling us that, yes, Washington was monumental in this. The people who signed the Declaration of Independence were key to creating this document for our country. But the reason why we were able to do those things was because of this power that was already within each one of us. And we each have that power within us, and it's time for us to tap into it and let it go. That's it for today. See you tomorrow.